Tongues and Tails here in Nottingham with Unicorn Darts. We're going to get some tips from our pros, Devon Petersen and Joe Cullen. Devon, I'll come on to you first. Obviously, the guys at home want to know how to make themselves better. But what do you do to make yourself the player you are?
Well, I just try and practice a minimum of 3 hours a day and just kind of get the flow steady. I mean, getting the consistent throw onto the board. That is probably the first step. It's pointless throwing and your throw is not really consistent. So, yeah, you're just trying to get, for the first hour or so, get the consistency, and then for the next part of the practice, you wanna actually play on some out shots and some significant, like between your 80s and 100s, because that's obviously where games turn around, basically, where you have your one dart at a double, and then the last hour you just play a bit around, but it's most of the time it's just work on the consistency.
And Joe, agree with all of that or completely different?
The majority I agree with, but I try to focus a bit on the doubles as well, and so obviously that's where the games are won and lost. But yeah, the majority of that's right. Just try to get your flow on the treble 20 like solid, and then obviously the rest comes.
Every player I talk to in every sport, they always seem to say practice, 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 practice. Is that true, or is that a myth, or do you think the more you practice, the better you get?
For me, I personally love practicing though, because it's just the opportunity to actually become better, and you don't know. I mean, some people say, well, it's natural talent and you don't have to really practice as much. And some people say, well, just practice as much as you can so that you can obviously get it as it would feel like, almost like breathing, so it becomes second nature. So for me, I enjoy practicing. So putting 3-4 hours a day, it's not a problem. So I'd suggest practice.
All natural talent for you though, Joe?
Obviously. But no, I personally think you can over practice. I think if you're, rather than just standing throwing at the board for 4 or 5 hours, whatever it be, I think more like a 2-hour structured practice where it's actually aiming for somewhere. I think that. Me personally, I find that a lot easier.
Do you ever play against Devon when you're practicing?
Yeah, we play all the time. We play.
What's the score?
He wins. He's the far better practicer, but then obviously I'm the better on the weekends.
Well, there you go. What do you think about that?
Well, it's probably because he's had the experience on tour and things like that. But if you look at the TV games, that's where your real money's made. So
that's a low blow.
But yeah, but on the tour he is amazing. I mean, I watch him sometimes and it just looks like poetry in motion. And I know he doesn't put in as much hours as I do. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, different people, different opinions, and I wish him all the success as well for his future. And
that was very nice. Are you going to say something nice in return?
Choked up, if I'm honest. But no, obviously it's just a joke between ourselves. But Devon, when he first got his tour card, it was nowhere near the player he is now. It was like he says, he got his training wheels on as well. And but now he seems to be a far better player and more confident, and doesn't look out of place.
Right, Devon, for all the people watching, they're going to want a tip on how to improve their game. What would you say?
I think the first start in that is probably to look at a unicorn catalogue and select your best set of stems, shafts is what they call it. I mean, the different lengths obviously determine the way in which the dart flows to the board. And then obviously looking at the flight setup as well, I think that's a major point, and that's what I think on the most, is because different size of the flight determines the way the dart goes to the board. And then obviously you have your Devon Petersens if you like a bit of a scallop, and then you have your Joe Cullens if you like more of a grip kind of dart. So I think the first thing is to go onto the Unicorn website. I think there's a Unibuff, and that could possibly get you your correct setup, and then take it from there.
Well, you can help me pick some darts.
Oh, well.
Joe, anything from you? On advice for people?
Yeah, more a similar thing. You want to try to get the darts that you're comfortable with to start with, and then just don't expect too much from yourself to start with. The more pressure you put on yourself as an amateur coming up, then the worse I find you could have got. So yeah, I'll just say, just play hard and tackle bug.
Right, there you go. Joe Cullen, Devon Petersen, Tongues and Tails in association with Unicorn Darts, keeping you at the sharp end of world darts.
Easy.